Sadie. Sadie. Good morning, everybody. It's an early Saturday morning. We've got, it's been a while since I put a video out on the Dirty Hands channel, so we got up a little early. It was like 4 in the morning, and it's 5 now, but I couldn't go back to sleep, so I got up and did my normal routine, the baking soda and then some water, and soaked in the hot tub for probably about 20 minutes. And so something I haven't really talked about a lot. Well, I've been starting to talk about it, but like the flat earth and some of the other things that I may or may not believe in. But so I was sitting out here in the tub, right? And I'm looking out towards the southwest, is what that would be, the southwest. And I'll tell you, a lot of I see it all the time, and I don't know what it is. People will say, oh, it's satellites or whatever, but I don't think it is. But I'll see in the stars at night or early in the morning when I'm sitting out in the hot tub or whatever, I'll see one going across the sky. And it's not an airplane because it doesn't flash. It doesn't do any flashing. It's just a light that moves across the sky. So I've seen that a lot, in the last, 5-6 years. Sometimes at 3 or 4 in the morning, maybe 5 in the morning, I'll sit out in the hot tub and I'll see, 5 or 6 of those, and they could be going this way, maybe one's going that way. They're not going any type of the same direction or anything, and they're definitely not an airplane, and they're not a star. They look like they're at the same distance as the stars, but they're not a star. Anyhow, let me get back to the story. So I'm sitting here, and this morning, out here in the southwest, I see it was almost like a ball of, and I'm gonna check and see if Vandenberg or somebody had a launch, but I've seen a launch from Vandenberg before too. Or supposedly it's a launch, but and that almost looks like a bubble, like a jellyfish floating through the sky, because it does like a shock wave. Well, this thing here was just it wasn't a pinpoint light, and it wasn't like it was just some kind of light, and it came up from the ground, and it went across really fast, faster than even the launches from Vandenberg. So it really kind of freaked me out, because I've seen these things throughout the years. I've noticed them moving in the sky in the morning, some kind of lights moving and stuff like that, not flashing, just lights moving. So anyways, y'all probably think I'm a lot more crazy now than you did before, but that's what I saw this morning, and it's the first time I've really seen anything like that, and especially coming up from the ground like that. And it literally came up and it went really fast off that way, and I literally caught it right as it was coming off the ground, and I jumped up and looked, and it didn't take just a few seconds, it was gone. And so that was my morning, and now we're getting up there. It's a little after 5. Sun's starting to bring a little light in over here. There's a really bright star right there. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, barely. Of course, the camera won't do it justice. But anyhow, we're gonna go. We got to go out to. We're gonna go meet up with Ron, our lone shark buddy, and he's well, we haven't been on the best of terms for the last year, but we talked last night for about 2 hours, and it was cool that we caught up. And like I said, I haven't talked to him for quite some time. He's he's helped us here and there on some things, and he's loaned us money and stuff when we need it, but he's a real shrewd businessman. So I got to have my In-N-Out last night, so that was good. He's he's how can I put it, shrewd, like beyond shrewd. But you know, when you need to borrow some money and there's a deal there, you know, he's obviously going to get a piece of it. But you know, it's like I could call him and tell him, you know, I need $1 million, and I could have it in my account the next day. Of course, it's going to cost me, you know, 50 grand to get that million, and there's going to be some pretty crazy terms to get it paid back. But if I've got a deal where there's, you know, a guy that wants $1 million for a piece of property, and I know I can sell it for 1.4 in 30 days, you know, that's the kind of guy that Ron is. So he's the kind of guy where you can get that money overnight. You know, he's going to make his chunk, but like I said, you know, you find those deals out there where, you know, somebody's selling something for that kind of price, and, you know, you can get more for it in a short period. He's the guy. So anyways, we got to go meet with him. We're going to look at some stuff that he has that he wants to get rid of, and then he wants me to do some work for him. And, you know, of course, he wants me to do it for like free or a little of nothing. But we're gonna appease him, and we're gonna go check it out, see what he's got. He's actually carrying some paper on another piece of ground on a 320 acre piece that we have up near Susanville, California. So, and that's coming up due. So I had to call him, and you know, I have to basically I got to go do some sweat equity to get my note paid off. So that's what we're gonna do. But we'll go see him today, and maybe we'll go out to the ranch. It's supposed to be like 104, so I don't know if I'll be going out to the ranch. It just depends on how long it takes out at Ron's place, because if we go out to the ranch and 104, it's not gonna be pretty. But we'll see how the day goes, and glad to be back on the channel. Hopefully this weekend I'll be here for a couple days. Maybe I can get a couple videos and get some of the Dirty Hands videos going again. So anyway, stick around, and let's see what the day holds. Bud's ready. Ready to roll? Where's your sister? She's ready too. Okay. Let's get moving. Let's go check out. Let's go try and make some money today.
Yeah. That's what I'm cheap for 1,000 apiece. You remember up north where they had all them fires? Up by Redding, up the way up there when they had all them fires?
Yeah.
This is what provided the people fire protection for the government traders and their water. These right here.
Portable fire protection.
Portable fire protection, portable water for their house, for the trailers. And run the sprinkler systems and everything in the trailers. And he said you got the pressure in there. He said it all goes up to 160 pounds, and the temperature goes up to 100. I don't know, 140, 100.
So it actually heats too.
It heats, the water heats, yeah.
Why?
bigger than the 250 and 300 gallon tank.
To keep his cars in him?
That's all he does.
You're probably hoping he's gonna fall off. All right, we're out here wheeling and dealing with Ron. So a couple years ago, I built those for him, and I've done a bunch of stuff out here. We built some metal buildings, all kinds of stuff. He's got, I don't know, it's 300 or 400 acres out here, and he's got buildings all the way across the back there. But now he's got me wheeled into a deal because he's my financier on some other property, and I got to get an extension on my loan, so I'm gonna have to do a sweat equity extension here, and this is one of the things he wants to give me. And this thing reaches 150 feet in the air. I don't know much about it, except for that the battery's probably definitely dead. Oh yeah. I mean, 35 years ago, you know what would happen if I took it and put it on a job? They'd probably kick me off. Yeah. I wonder how, you got a tape measure? I was gonna see how long it is. I mean, it's outdated, but, and I'd probably use it once a year, but this would actually reach to the very top floors of any of those hotels. What? Oh, you could. No, you could do, you could paint with it. It'd be really good for high buildings. It articulates, it looks like. So here's the other bounty here. So we got this military trailer. So basically what I got to do in order to get my extension is I got to build one of those buildings like that. And it's all on my cost to get it built. And then I got to run some power and water to it. Then you got these grinders. These, I don't know if these will work on pavement or not. I mean, they look like they're pretty heavy duty. There's 1, 2, 3 of the mowers, which I definitely don't need those. I already have one of those. But what I thought was cool was this cement mixer here. This is pretty cool. That goes on the skid steer. And then that disc. So I think I get everything here. Bud's licking Sadie's ear. Maybe she's got an earache. Well, it's another Monday, and we're still in Bakersfield. Had to stick around till 11 o'clock this morning. Gotta do something down here, and then I'll be heading up north. But just wanted to show you guys the view today is really nice, and it really cooled off a lot. You can see there's not a streak in the sky, and I really wish I knew what caused that. Some days we don't have any, some days it's just covered. Matter of fact, I think yesterday or the day before it was solid. Just can't wrap my mind around it, just like a lot of other things. But we all got to do our best, and we're just doing the best we can do every day to get by and do our life's work, whatever that may be. I guess mine's construction, but you know, I talk about some of my beliefs on these channels, and I get comments. People don't necessarily like it. I think the flat earth thing really triggers a lot of people, and I mean, I'll be honest, it was something that triggered me too, until I started doing my own research. And you know, every time you talk about it with somebody, they basically tell you you're stupid, you're not educated. But I mean, just looking here at a pool of water, my observation, what I see with my own two eyes, is it's flat. So every time I talk to somebody about that, I mean, there's all kinds of astrophysicists and this kind of science, but I don't think anybody really understands a lot of that anyways, because it's just way above most people's pay grade. So, you know, for me, and what I'm just trying to explain, I'm not trying to say that I'm right or I'm wrong, but for me, what I see and what I observe is, you know, water's always level, lasers, they don't work on a curve, and the sun and the moon. I mean, the sun and the moon, they are, in my opinion, local. From what the research that I've done, they are local. You know, the sun, to be 93 million miles away from Earth, right? It seems like it would have to light up all of space, no matter what, to light up the Earth. Again, my opinion, the sun and the moon are the same size, and that is supposedly because, you know, the moon is so much closer and the sun is just exactly the right amount further out to where when they eclipse each other, it looks like they're the same size. I don't know, guys. It's probably beating a dead horse, but it's stuff I believe and I like to talk about. I don't mind if you think I'm crazy. I don't think I am. I feel like, you know, the government lies about everything. I feel like a lot of history that we've been taught is false. And, you know, something like the, you know, flat earth, or the, you know, the theory that Antarctica is an ice wall that encircles the whole entire realm, I guess you would call it. That's something that actually makes sense to me. So I get it. A lot of people can't be on board with that, but there again, you know, a lot of people can't be on board with politics, right or left. And I think it all kind of intertwines, the politics, the lies about, you know, the earth and our origins and all those things that I think are, in the most part, are a lot of false teachings. That's what I believe, and I think it all coincides because, you know, I used to be, you know, very political, very you know, conservative, whatever you want to call it, but, you know, this day and age, even with Donald Trump, I question the things he's doing with AI and all of these things that are essentially a mechanism to control humanity. It's all part of this theory that I've come up with, you know, and you get categorized as a conspiracy theorist or a tinfoil hat guy, and that's fine. You know, everybody is entitled to believe what they want, and sometimes I just like to talk about my beliefs, and, you know, you can agree to disagree, you can tell me I'm stupid. It doesn't really affect me one way or the other. I just, you know, I don't do it for clicks. I just, you know, I want my audience to know who I am, so I talk about it sometimes, and that's me. That's what I believe. So just a little insight this morning for you guys from something I felt like I wanted to say, and that's it.